So we are back with the UK Journeyman, and we have found ourselves in a European tie. We've got two games today, first and potentially the second leg. We'll see how we get on in the first leg against FF Jaro of the Finnish Premier League. I don't really know how it happened. So obviously we knew we'd already qualified for the Conference League because we finished third last year. Um, but then we won the Swedish Cup, which qualifies you for the Europa League. But I thought that would be next season, but it actually seems to be this season. So it's like it somehow puts you into the. I don't understand really how it's happened. It's like the cup is from the season you're in will affect the season we're in because obviously we're in this different schedule with the winter months and things like that. So maybe it's like the league position last year plus the cup from this season. So it's almost like you treat the very end of that season as this season almost. So it's a little bit odd because normally you would have like say the Premier League and then the FA Cup and things like that, and that would all affect it within the same sort of month period. You would kind of know who's going to be in Europe next year. And we got an email through to say that we were going to be in the Conference League, but now we're in the Europa League. So I can only assume it's either a bug or it's because we've won the cup final, which then puts you in it. So I think we would have been in Europe regardless because of our league position. I guess we can kind of work it out because, in theory, if we look at the league, so we know Gothenburg won the league, so they're probably in the Champions League. Yeah, they're in the Champions League, so that's easy enough. Malmo finished second. They're in the Conference League, which doesn't make any sense to me. Hang on. What were the rules? What's the rules? So it's also there's only Europa League goes to the top, which is the winner of the Swedish Cup. So then maybe Malmo finishing second makes it so they now only get so we take their Europa League spot. They then get our Conference League. And then who finished fourth last year? Can I see that? Who finished fourth last year? That was BK Hacken. So in theory, they should also have Conference League. Yeah, they do. And Degerfors, who won the Cup last year, we could make sense of this. They won the Cup last year. Oh no, it was Djurgårdens won the Cup last year. They're not in anything. So did they play in the Europa League last season? They did. Right, so it's the league positions from last year and then the Cup because it finishes before the European qualifiers start. So because we actually we actually won the Swedish Cup. Yeah, we just don't even get Conference League. We go straight into Europa League, which is great, which gives us a double chance of actually progressing into Europe. Because obviously, if you go out in the Europa League, as you saw there with Djurgårdens, you then go down into the Conference League. So we will at least have 2 rounds of European fixtures to play on episode, which is great. But our first ever games in Europe, I'm very much looking forward to it. But as you know, we are also in July, and even though it is early doors, we've actually managed to make some signings. So if we go to the transfer and we go at release players, not release players, sorry, if we go to cash deals, a few have moved on. So Alati's left to Aalborg, he went for 40k. Victor Caro, that centre half, never going to play. He's went to Midtjylland for 64 grand. Job van der Pavert, obviously was a centre mid we brought in on a free from Milan. Did okay, but just we have too many of them. So he's gone to a team in Cyprus who don't even seem to play in a league for 155k. Not sure how they've got the money for that. And then Jack Berry, who came in on a free from Celtic, went out on loan to Hamilton, barely played, and we've managed to sell him on to AIK in the second division for 160k. So we've done well. We've brought some new money into the club. Obviously, some money will come in through these European fixtures as well. But we've really cooked in the free transfers if we look at players who've come in. I think have we loaned anyone else out? I don't think so. Not yet, but there could be some stuff moving on that. Yeah, in terms of free transfers, we've signed some really good players. The first one is Ryan Williamson. He is a 22-year-old English goalkeeper. He was at Man City, left on a free. 2.5 stars of current ability, 4-star potential. We're going to look to try and loan him out. He's already got some interest there, so it shouldn't be too difficult to find him a deal. Then we've got Joel Drakes Thomas, who is a right winger, but he can play left wing back and right wing back. I'm retraining him to play a right back. I think he won't be terrible with, 3 tackling's not great, but he's like an attacking right back, and I think that will be ideal. He signs on a 5.5 grand a week deal, 3 stars of current ability, 4-star potential. He was at Crystal Palace, went out on loan a couple of times, couldn't break in, so he joins us. Maybe slight overpay on that one. Maybe the pick of the bunch is Tycho de Witt. He is a 25-year-old Dutch left winger, and there will be a little bit of a type there. We've signed a couple of the Dutch boys. He becomes our highest earner on 10 grand a week on a 3-year deal, but he's 4 stars of current ability, and he can still get better. So very, very good, very quick. Yeah, nice agile player. He was in the AZ Academy, played, a little bit for them, went out on loan, never really found his foot anywhere. At 25 years old, he's now come in to make it, to start playing regularly. And then King Dua is a 23-year-old Dutch left back. We needed fullbacks. He's very quick, very physical. Love to see it. Technically not the best, but again, physical, very good. Not paying him too much really on a shorter deal. 2.5 stars of current ability. At 23, he's still got room to improve. He's from the PSV Academy. Again, just couldn't break into their team, but fits into ours quite nicely. And then another Dutch boy, Deli Thomas, comes in. 24-year-old winger, can play on the left and the right. 3.5 stars of current ability, 4-star potential, 6.25 grand a week. So a little bit there. Another one was at Feyenoord, then went to PSV, and has been in and around the first team, but just again never getting that breakthrough. Well, he's in here now, and that massively improves our squad. But unfortunately, with the way that the Europa League or any sort of European registration works, we weren't able to register them in time. They signed after the registration window, which was around June. So they're not going to be able to play in this game. But I think we might be able to register for them for the away leg, or we'd at least be able to register them for the second round, whether that's in this or the Conference League. So we're going to play the first game. If we batter them, then we'll just come back for the end of the second game. I'm not going to do it on camera if we batter them. But if we don't, and it's going to be a tight game, then yeah, we'll... why are you still here? You can go. No, we didn't sign him. Then we can, move on. We've got a couple that we are obviously trying to move on. We have had a bid for Ronnie Moncur, 400k from Landskrona, so we have accepted that. If he doesn't want to leave, I'm not forcing him out. But yeah, there's an offer there. We've put Luca Cooper on the loan list now that we've brought these other boys in as well. Still trying to get Rosengren moved on. Not really had any interest there so far. And then Demise has had a bid to go out on loan again, but we haven't managed to confirm anything just yet. And then our other backup keeper, Nawam, who joined us, who actually has got decent potential. He's had a few bids for loans, or to be a first choice player, so he's going to go. And then I thought we had another one. I think we have actually released some or sold someone on a free. Ronnie Gordon. He's went to Halmstad's, came in from Rangers, barely played, went out on loan, didn't do that great in League One, which is a really poor level in Scotland. So he's left. So yeah, honestly, we're looking good. This is the team we're going with, though. It's Harrison in goal, back four of Berman, Tov, Dua and Cooper, Osterberg and Gorman in midfield, and then a front four of Scanlon, Ibrahimov, El Boujoufi and Moncur. I think Afidi might lose us. We might try and move him on as well. I think that the chances are that Scanlon will just play as a centre mid from now on, because we've got a lot of wingers now with De Witt and Thomas coming in, so I think there's a chance he probably doesn't play there. We obviously need a striker as well, so there's a chance for Mundell Smith to potentially play up front. For now, we'll leave Ronnie Moncur in for this game, see how we get on. But yeah, there's definitely a chance for players like the new boys to just come straight in. I think Ibrahimov obviously keeps his place. I think we're going to put him on the right, though. We're going to try him on the right, De Witt on the left, and then Thomas is probably just going to miss out in terms of a starting position. But I have no idea how we compare to this side. We'll see how we get on. That's why I'm saying if we just absolutely lever them, then we won't play the second game on camera, because it's probably a good chance we're going through. However, Sweden to Finland, I don't think it'll be too far down. Their season, I think, is finished. So I think this is their sort of the start of their season, whereas for us this is obviously mid-season, which honestly isn't bad. Like you do the downside is if you actually get through the group phase, you end up playing your like round of 16 knockouts almost like a pre-season. It's very odd, but the good thing is when you play these qualifiers, you're already under the season, you're already underway in the season, so players are all fit and ready to go. Obviously, downside is if you're playing too many games, you can be tired. So there's pros and cons to both sides, but it's just the way the season, the calendar works. But we are 1-0 up early doors. Ibrahimov assist, El Boujoufi goal, and that is a sentence I've been saying a lot this season. We have seen a lot of goals from El Bouzoufi and Ibrahimov, and assists either way as well. They've both been definitely our standout performers. I do worry about shifting Ibrahimov onto the right, that he might become less effective, but we'll only know in time. But ball up from Tolf, not great, but Osterberg does well to track back, win it back, and now it's Finley Gorman in midfield, who's another one who's really came into his own. Ronnie Moncur into Bouzoufi. Can he get another? This guy is a goal machine. Adnan El Bouzoufi makes it 2-0 after 18 minutes. We are at home for the first leg, which I never like. I actually like playing the away one first to get out the way, and then if you've got a job to do, you can do it at home. I never like going into the away game almost protecting your lead. It's you just always seem to end up on the end of a beating for some reason. But we do seem to be the better team here. I do think we'll probably just play the one game today, especially considering we had all those transfers to cover and things like that. So we'll probably just play the one, and we'll come back at the very end just to see, just to show you the last five or so minutes from the second leg, just to let you know sort of how we got on. But yeah, we won't do both on camera unless something changes in this game, because we seem to be doing pretty well. So 2-0 up, and I don't really know what my aim is for Europe. I'm kind of just taking it a game at a time. I don't know if we expect to get through. The board just say be competitive, which usually just means don't lose the first one, and then after that it doesn't really matter. There's not, be competitive is very vague. It's usually you won't, you're not going to disappoint them if you don't do so well in it, because they don't even know what to give you as an objective. Because I suppose the other thing is it depends who you come up against. So, if we get Crystal Palace, for example, in the next qualifying round, there's no chance we're getting through it. Whereas if we keep getting teams in and around our level, we can probably keep progressing, or we can at least make it a good effort. Jarrow with an effort from distance. Harrison, who is being in and out of the squad, obviously with injuries more than anything, manages to turn it behind. I still think we do have a little bit of money left. Obviously, if players leave for money, that gives us a little bit more money as well to move into wage. But we are spending a lot on those new boys. I think the reason we've been able to get the deals done so quickly on some of those new boys, which obviously you're not seeing any of them playing today, is because we offered them very good wages, and they've been able to just say yes, please, and join. But they're improvements on what we've got, and I definitely think, for example, Scanlon has been decent, but I think if we get Ibrahimov on the right, that David on the left, and then we've got that Thomas who can come on either side. Potentially even one of them could play up front. David, for example, could be our striker if Moncur goes. And Ronnie Moncur, he's got an assist today, but he has genuinely fell off this season. And ever since we've got to the Premier League, he's not been as good. I think it's pretty clear on that. I think he's going to score here, but I'm pretty sure he's offside. Referee hasn't give it, neither has the linesman. He looked a good bit offside, so maybe there was something that I didn't see there. But it is a goal for Ronnie Moncur. I mean, he looks like he's done well today. Goal and assist for Scanlon as well. 55 minutes on the clock. We will make a couple changes though, as Mundell Smith needs to get some fitness. So he's going to come on for Scanlon. We'll also bring on Hafidi as well for Osterberg. And I guess we'll just leave the rest of it. I think Rosengren. The other thing is obviously we've got to keep some of these Swedes around, even if they're not as good, just because we need to have a certain number of players who can fit in. Obviously, it's a great signing these Dutch players, but they're going to have to replace current foreign players. They're not going to be able to replace the Swedes, because obviously there's registration rules and things like that. That obviously doesn't take into effect European games. It also doesn't affect cup games as well. There's no rules on the foreign player thing. So obviously we need a certain amount of players plus the bench in the squad for the Europe games, but we don't have to play a certain number of Swedish players. It's basically just homegrown by nation. Part of me wants to keep Luke Cooper around, even though he might just be second choice, because I thought Moncur was going to score an overhead kick there. Purely because I think we signed him young enough that if he stays around, he would be homegrown by club. So I might just keep Luke Cooper around. He can also play left back and right back, so we'll offer him out on loan. But if the loan's not I'm not really sure what to do with him. I'm thinking we just keep him around, because like I say, he's still got 5-star potential, though he's not really reached it, even with a lot of game time. But now that the facilities are better and the coaching's only going to get better, things like that, that is very unlucky from Ibrahimov. 2 bites of the cherry and he couldn't get it over the line. But yeah, I think with him, because he could potentially become homegrown at club, we might just keep him around. But also, we're probably not going to be here long enough to really reap the benefits of that. But then, Oh, it's a decent effort from Berman. He's tried to just curl it bottom right hand corner, but in the same vein, you should be doing what you can to improve for the future of the club, shouldn't you? So we'll maybe keep him around. He's obviously done okay today. We're going to bring Vucinovic Persson on and then swap him around so he can play in what should be his more favoured position, but he's actually less comfortable on the right now. I think he's played so much on the left, he's actually improved as a left back enough to play there. But he is more of an attacking fullback, so you'd expect him to do better on the right. But it's 3-0 and not long left to go. We've really not seen anything from them to suggest that a second leg wouldn't just be not a walk in the park, but we should be getting through to the second qualifying round of the Europa League. I guess because it's our first foray into Europe, we will just show you every round as a different episode. Obviously, it depends how far we go, but at the very least, we've got a couple episodes to get out of this European run because it looks like, so far anyway, so far so good, we will be going through to the second round. But obviously, still a second leg to play, and it is at their place, so it's definitely not done just yet. Ibrahimov, if he could have made it 4, well, that would have been probably job done. If it stays like this, or if we stay with a 3-goal lead, I think, yeah, fair to say I won't play the second game on camera because we're probably going to be getting through, which is great. Obviously, we covered a lot of transfers today as well, so that's going to take up. Yeah, I mean, we're already at 16 minutes, so we've definitely taken up enough of an episode's time there. Don't need a second game, but a 3-0 win, very good stuff. So what I'm going to do now, I think there's a league game in between against Hammer Bay. I'll play that off camera as well, and then I'll play the second game on camera, off camera, but come back for like the last 5 minutes or so. Round up any other transfers as well. Since the Swedish Cup final, we have actually been on a little bit of a bad run. We lost 2 games in the league and then a draw. We did win one game before this, but yeah, we've lost our top spot. We're down to third after 15 games, which is not great. So we've definitely got a bit of ground to make up in the league. But yeah, I'll come back for the end of the Jarrow game away, and hopefully we'll be winning that tie anyway and be through the next round. Yeah, we're back for the last few minutes of the game. It's not actually been a cakewalk. It was 2-0 up, which at that point made us 5-0 up on aggregate. They did get a couple back, but so it's not been necessarily the easiest of games. And this is why I always like to play the away leg first, because you never really know how the away leg seems to go. But either way, it looks like we are going to be progressing into the second qualifying round, which will, of course, be our next episode. So I don't think it'll be too far ahead. Any league games between now and then, we will, of course, play off camera. But yeah, an own goal, I think, helped us with one of them. And then Mundell Smith scored the second off the bench on the right-hand side. So yeah, I mean, their goals, just, kind of nothing goals, really. A little bit disappointing to concede them, but ultimately not going to make too much of a difference. We're getting a very long highlight here, and I'm not really sure why. In terms of other transfers, we haven't brought anyone else in. And I think with the loans that we had accepted, either the player rejected or with that other goalkeeper, Nawam, I think there's some reason he's like played for 2 clubs somehow in the same season, which I'm not really sure how that works. But Finley Gorman does get us a late goal to make it 3-2 on the night. So we do win both legs as well as winning on aggregate 6-2, which is great to see. And yeah, this should give us a nice little bit of money as well, because obviously you do get money for appearing in each round. If we could get ourselves to the league phase, that would ultimately be where the big money is. But yeah, good win there. Like I say, it gets us to the next round. You do get money eventually for getting knocked out as well. I don't know what round that is, but yeah, this is definitely going to help the bank balance. If we look at the Europa League, it's not long after. We've only got 1 league game, and then we've got a very, very tough double fixture against SK Rapid of the Austrian Premier Division. So this is going to be tough. Yeah, they're coming off a pre-season as well, so don't have the years in the legs as much as we do. But yeah, don't know. We'll see how we get on with it. Obviously, we've got a league game to play in between, so it won't really take too much for me before coming back to do off camera. So at this point, we are in the second. It's only 3 qualifying rounds, or does that then go to the playoff? How does this work? Yeah, the playoff. So if you go out at these points, I don't think there's any money. You just get money for appearing. It doesn't look like you get any money for actually going out. Whereas if you go out in the playoffs, well, if we get to the playoffs, we go into the Conference League. At this point, if we were to go out, we'd go to the third round of the Conference League. So this is where it gets a bit confusing. It says winner qualifies for the third qualifying round, loser qualifies for the main path third qualifying round. But that's for the Conference League. So this could be the end of the road, but I mean, it'd be a good test for us. So we'll see how we get on in the next episode against SK Rapid. Potentially might have a few more transfers, but back-to-back games. We'll play both on camera because they're going to be big games. So the away leg first, then the home leg. Hopefully we can get those new players registered as well without any issues. In terms of other transfers, I think a couple of the lads have went out on loan. So Rosengren's went on loan to Viborg, and Demises went on loan as well. He's out of contract at the end of the year, I believe. Oh, he's not. Oh my god, I didn't realise how long his contract was at our club. All right, going to be hard to move him on, but nevertheless. So then we'll do it there. We'll leave it there, and then yeah, we'll come back for SK Rapid for the second qualifying round. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Euro Journeyman, and I'll see you all for more very soon.